Hey guys, we're Nerd Jams. We're nerds fangirl and review your favorite shows. We have here
Jaden?
Adam.
Mark.
And Shannon.
So this week we reviewed the Shannara Chronicles, episode 3, Fury, and episode 4, The Changeling. Basically, in these two episodes, it starts off where you left off with episode 2 of the Fury flying in to attack Will and Amberly. Then focuses on the Fury in that episode. We'll dive deeper into kind of the story there too. But they conquer the bad guy. They get through it. The story's pretty generic, I feel like, as hero versus bad guy stories go. And then episode 4, this is a 2-episode span. It's focusing on the Changeling. The Changeling you saw earlier go into the episode of the pilot has infiltrated the kingdom and is impersonating random people as it sees fit. And so, on that, I wanted to talk about Will and Amberly. They kind of focused at the very beginning of episode 3 on being attacked and fighting the Fury. What we don't see is during this, Will use any magic, any real fighting skills, and Amberly too. They're both just kind of so in shock, I feel like, from this new demon. They've never seen demons
Anything like it.
anything like it before, so they're just in shock. And then you get Allanon step in and save the day.
Pretty much badass, right?
Like a badass. Like every time he steps in, I'm just like, that's the guy. So I feel like Will and Amberly still have yet to develop at this point. You have Amberly just, I have to save the world and everything's on my shoulders, but I don't know what to do, or I take everything to so much extremes. Jaden had mentioned that. It's just like Amberly is, I hate everything in the world and everyone's against me, or I love everyone and I'm here to save the world. Like so confident or so not.
Yes.
It just shifts.
Will.
Will is, I'm very hopeful still with Will because he's the protagonist. I feel like in this story he's the Shannara descendant and
Apparently.
The hero.
yeah. But not yet. It hasn't happened yet. So my hope is, again, his magic start becoming more used, him actually start fighting, using a sword, protecting Amberly.
Well,
I see him
we
becoming...
We see the bit of the magic at the very end of the episode.
You do.
The second
But what I'm saying is,
towards the end.
to a point where just like Allanon, is no situation comes up where you're like, come on, work, don't work, I don't know if I'm going to be able to save the day.
Right.
So he chooses to run instead of see if the magic will work. And so...
I mean, it's just that he ran. I mean, he gets in front of Amberly to try to protect her.
And
He's like,
Eretria.
I've got no idea what's
at that
going to
beginning
happen.
part,
Yeah.
but then later in the episode when the next Fury comes, and it's kind of like, I don't know if I'm gonna die or if this magic's gonna work, but here we go.
The way I see it is it's like at the beginning of a game, he's like, if you choose the healer, you gotta stick in the back. I mean, he hasn't leveled up yet. So
Right.
you never send your healer out to
Yeah,
slay the beast or whatever.
Figure out
He's the healer that's been left alone, last man standing, just like, all I got is a stick, man. What do you want to do?
Yeah, whereas Alanon's got like
Preach you with this.
Alanon's got like the novice robes of destruction plus 6 or something, and the sword of
Is this a
Mitchell
particular
sword.
game that y'all are referencing?
It's a
or
bunch
like
of
a bunch
It's
of
just
them?
very, very standard
RPG in
RPG,
general, yeah.
Dungeons and Dragons.
I like
kinda
Yoshi.
stuff here.
And
No,
so,
that's not real. That's not real.
Amberly definitely, I feel like she just carries a sword around for it looking good, a fashion statement. I've yet to see her actually use some sword skills. She'll pull out and threaten people with it, but it's not actually used in battle. So that's just what I'm hoping for, is character development. I said it in the last review. I want to see in this season these guys progress and become kind of like leaders. Have Will falling into his Shannara heritage, and if and when the kingdom falls or they have to start over and everything, he's the new king, and kind of get that role. Amberly as well, if they're going to play this out, the typical princess and the hero, she needs to step up and be able to trust her sight and trust the tree that keeps speaking to her, and she's
Yes.
like, I take every message, because that's another thing, she takes every message with extremes.
No,
You can't have any distractions during your quest and everything. So stop loving, stop caring, go alone.
Yeah.
But anyway, Allanon, like I said, is just he is the badass. He walks into any scene, and I just feel like he's gonna take care of business. That's why in almost every troubled scene, I'm waiting for him to come in. And if he doesn't, I'm like, oh, they're in trouble.
Well, they're gonna die.
But,
I'd like to just touch on that real quick. So I am not as huge of a Manu Bennett, who plays Allanon, fan as some here. But I said this earlier, I've never met a druid that I know of. I don't know how druids really act and all this stuff. But like you said, anytime he is on scene, I feel like he is just the epitome of it. He is so good. He has control of his magic. He's just like, swipe the hand over it, doesn't even care where they land or if it works or not because he knows it's going to work. So I love him in this character.
He's like what you would call like a battle mage in one of these games that we're talking about. Uses magic, but then he also uses weapons.
Yeah, I think Jaden's favorite character, male character, would be Allanon. What do you think, Al?
Well, I mean, like, he is like the male character. I mean, you got Will in the corners, you know, it's like his little dagger.
I can't choose. I don't know what I want to do.
Yeah, like you said, I mean, he's the guy. So until someone else steps up, yeah, he's probably gonna be my favorite character. And like I mean, along those lines, like I said last week, he brings just like a gravitas to the whole story, and he had one of the best lines I think, episode 3 and 4. I wrote it down, but he's talking to, it's like right after he finds them at the rover camp, and he's talking to Amberly, and she's crying, and whatever. This is all my fault. This is all my fault. And he's like, no, this is everything here. He says everything here, all of this, is happening to you,
Yes.
not because of you. You didn't cause this. This is this is just part of what Destiny is trying to get. Destiny's trying to move
Guide
you
you
forward.
toward,
Yeah. And I was just so grateful when I first heard that because all these stories, all these shows, like main characters, oh, this is all my fault. This is all my fault, and no one tells them, no, this is just happening to you. You're just trying to do your best in this situation.
Or they tell them it and they don't believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to get started on that one yet.
Yeah. So and then also, speaking along with magic, I'm not sure what to think of this Bandon character. I just want to talk a little bit about that, but when I first saw him, I thought he was evil. So I didn't trust that his parents would just lock him up and then put that weird mask over his face and lock him in a barn, just because whenever you touch him, he sees a vision. I mean, I think
your death.
Yeah, I mean, I just got the feeling that he was maybe they locked him up because he has some sort of violent magic more to him.
See, and I thought it was more of fear of the visions.
Yes.
I think he started predicting it coming true, and they thought that he was making it come true, and so they were like, lock him up. Not that it was actually him being bad or anything. I'm on the side of I think he's good, but
He's
the
just
reason for
also
being
very
locked up
scared.
is if he can't control his own powers and he's afraid of his own powers, he probably wasn't against them locking him up. The way he's been acting was probably like, yeah, separate me from everybody, but didn't want to get left there as his parents did.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, just the thing that makes me doubt is like when they first open the door, he's like all screaming and
going crazy.
That mask. I mean, if you're just like afraid of him, his visions or whatever, just lock him up and put him.
Why
in a
does he
corner.
need a?
Yeah.
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 And did they say what happened to like all those cows? Like, 'cause you see everyone's just got ripped apart.
Well, I think he said as he was locked up, he heard the massacre.
Yeah, okay,
of
okay.
everything.
Okay.
They don't
Yeah,
tell
yeah,
us
yeah.
who or why,
Yeah.
but yeah, he says
Yeah.
the last thing he heard were his parents
Okay, yeah.
screaming as they were murdered.
I remember that now. Okay.
I agree, though. I don't know if I trust his character yet or not. Like, there's got to be more. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe he is magical and he doesn't realize that he was harming people, or something along those lines. But I don't trust his character yet at all. There's got to be a reason that he was so violently restrained.
Anybody else's magical power? Anything else in the kind of myth realm that you're liking or disliking?
Okay, people are gonna hate me for bringing up this movie, but the whole elf stones when Will uses the elf stones reminded me of Green Lantern, where how it turns around and blasts parallax, but
Ryan Reynolds.
I don't want to bring back any bad vibes,
No,
but
we don't want to bring that one up.
but yeah, the effects for the magic continue to, just blow me away because they're just so awesome. the way they use it. But
Yeah, I definitely agree. What do you guys think? Any other comments on like the magic focus, or Adam, you didn't speak up
on
on
the
it.
Well, no,
Elfstones.
I'm excited for what they're going to bring because they have such a wide range of different kind of characters and mythology that they can bring into this. You know, we got the seer with Bandon, who could potentially be another druid. You know, we're still learning who this character is. You got Allanon, you got elves, you know, all these demons, and there's trolls and gremlins, goblins coming through. So I'm excited to see what else is going to be coming into the show.
Nah.
yeah, we haven't even seen.
I have a True Blood effect that I'm worried about. Like, I don't want
See, I don't know.
Just keep out vampires.
I don't know the rules of magic yet in
That's
this show.
Ooh,
I don't
I like
know
other than
why-
it has a price.
why-
That's
well, yeah.
true.
Besides that, the druids can hold magic. Can elves hold magic?
Right.
And I mean like the druid uses it. Will is using stones and kind of exerting them through there and everything. And it's kind of like his
That's a good
bloodline
point.
is using those stones. But can he use magic the same? What creatures and what races can use magic?
actually
Is
use
it an
magic.
actual skill
Yeah.
and an art, or is it in them?
I tried researching this earlier, but basically just like the story from the books is, and people, you know, I think I just read the on the Cliff Notes version, but basically what I understood is that there were a group called the fairies that were they were at one point prominent in human history, and then they started to pull back when humans started to get more technological like we are today, and then they started dying off until there's only a few, and then so the elves and the demons are actually fairies. But then I guess at some point during the wars they used all their magic to do the forbidding, put away the demons and then something else. But basically all the elves lost all their magic, and that's what made them mortal and everything we talked about last week. But I got the sense that they can't use magic at all.
Nice.
So, like, never going to be able to, or are they going to be able to earn it back or learn it back?
I'm not sure. I think
that's
it's
So
still
maybe
a
we'll
mystery,
see.
yeah.
yeah.
So,
Makes sense as to why they're so like terrified of this magic. Like you
Oh
know,
my
the
gosh.
Doesn't
uncles
exist.
yelling at the kings, just being like, "You told us magic wasn't real," and well, I saw it, but
I think it's
it's
The druid has
He's a
just
dick.
used magic in front of you like 50 times, and you're still going to turn around and say, "My father told me this magic doesn't exist."
even though now he's telling you that. Yeah,
Idiot.
so that's pretty much the magic. I agree there. So Adam, during when we were watching these episodes, you had some comments about Eretria. I don't know if I remember any good ones.
Let's sit back.
all right. Let's see.
I want to like her. I just have her character is just she's gonna be so predictable. I feel, she's playing this character who, she's been growing up in the Rovers. She's human, but she's grown up as a Rover. Her father's basically the head honcho of the Rovers, and so she's been taught, to be bad and kind of
Not have a conscience.
yes, and all that.
And
And
want, take, have.
but you're still seeing these glimpses of good in her that you're not sure about. But I don't care for that character.
So do we know that all rovers aren't humans? I thought she was born as a rover.
No.
No, she's human.
But
Majority
like
of the
the
Rovers
rest of the
are.
rovers she's with aren't.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah, they're human.
Because there's like the hate and the war between the elves and the
Yeah.
humans in general.
Mm.
So the rovers
And then
are,
just the Rovers are just the even worse.
there's a scum
humans.
of the
Yeah.
humans.
So I don't know. I just obviously, I feel that she is going to end up being good. She's part of now the new trio, Love Triangle,
Oh, God.
and I don't know. I'm just having a hard time with this because maybe it's just that character I just don't care for in a lot of movies.
So say, is it
it
that
feels-
typical character?
Yeah,
In
it's
in
the
love
typical
triangle,
character.
There's the low end
And-
person.
And the
Yes.
conflicted one.
Yes. But granted, all three of them are very conflicted in their own ways. Like we brought up with Amberly, that she's very dramatic on either end of the spectrum, whatever choice she's given. And I don't know. I do want to like Eretria. I think maybe I even have a touch of problems with her acting It goes very, very, very back and forth. Where it just.
I think it's the writing.
There was no, and it very well could be the writing too. And I mean, because I had this issue with Teen Wolf. Just some of it was not given out very well, and it could, it's probably most likely the writing. I don't know. There's just something about her. I know where it's gonna where it's gonna end up, and she's gonna be good. I just don't want to see this again. Like it's one of those character things that just gets thrown out every time, along with the freaking love triangle. Why does every freaking show have to have a love triangle?
I agree, but I'm sorry. I can't even call this a love triangle because there is no chemistry between these actors. None. What? Especially Amberly and Will. Like, brother and sister is what I get off of it. Anytime they're in the scene together, they look at each other, there is no love in there for me. It's maybe Eretria and Will.
I would agree. I would see it more between them.
But no, there's no chemistry. There's more chemistry, and yes, you're going to think that I'm fetching here, but there's more chemistry between Eretria and Amberly and their tension scenes than there is between Will and Amberly. No, I
completely agree. I so agree with that.
So, I'm sorry.
I feel like
love triangle.
Jaden's got
Jaden's stirring. What do you got to say back to that? The love of your show, girl.
Okay, so I Dan caught onto this. I love Eritrea, but I think she's amazingly attractive. But I think out of the three of them, the weak link is Amberly. I mean, we've already talked about her extremes, and it's just like I find her so predictable. I mean, it's just like
and ignorant.
She's just gonna. Every episode, you can just expect her to jump off the horse and run away crying, and then come back all strong with a sword. And,
Exactly. It's like, I need protecting, but I'm gonna protect myself. I'm gonna be strong. I'm gonna lay back and let you do something. And it's like,
yeah. I mean,
but again, that could be just the writing. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think Eritrea actually has some brains in her head, despite what her
her
dad keeps saying.
And one of the good points I did like about her character is how she goes to tell her dad, she's like, I don't kill for sport. Mm-hmm. I kill to protect myself if I need to, but I'm not killing just because you tell me to. Mm-hmm. I did like that about her.
Yeah, I like that she's a survivor. Like she's probably the most capable of the whole
out of the group there.
I agree though. Eritrea has more brains, and maybe it's because she's had to utilize her knowledge more than, say, Amberly living in the palace and having everything catered to her. And such, but Jaden and I were talking about how Amberly's plan is to hold a knife to her throat and then walk into the middle of the freaking camp where anyone can overpower her.
Yeah.
And then my favorite is when she's going to insult her and use the typical let's get the villain, who is Eritrea in this moment, to untie me to think that I'm gonna fight her and she's gonna win, and Eritrea just walks up and headbutts her.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I really like Eritrea's character. I think it's the writing, because I said something about her acting in the first review that we did, and then she got stronger as it went on, and I feel most of her dialogue is very predictable, and it's hard to, when it's predictable like that, it's hard to get the feeling behind it. In her emotional scenes, I buy into it more than Amberly's emotional scenes. But
I think this is I can't remember if they produce it or write it, but so it's Alfred Goff and Miles Millar, and they did Smallville. They do this really cool show I'm watching called Into the Badlands. They do a lot of these shows that have really cool concepts, but then they hook you with it, but then it kind of just peters out.
Yeah,
and I really hope that doesn't happen.
That's exactly what happened to Smallville. I was kind of like, when I saw their names, I was like,
yeah,
like it's gonna be good, but
yeah,
because I just Smallville I loved it for like 3 seasons and then nothing.
So
you wanted to talk about the dad?
Yes.
James Remar.
What is it? What? I do not like his character. I like his character, the actor. I'm just never really been a fan of his. I feel like he overacts in most of what he does, but especially in this, like he.
No, I agree. Because when you had said that, I loved him from Dexter. He's so good in that, so I was excited to see him. But I do like it is very cheesy almost.
Yes.
And it's overdone, and
His scene where
But
he's
I do.
fake crying.
Oh my god.
Okay, it's supposed to be awful and cheesy. That is how I feel the way you're cringing and laughing now at any of his acting. I'm just like, ugh,
Daddy's on the way.
it's this guy again. And still, I'm the only one who kind of hopes that Eritrea kills her dad by the end of the season.
I like that he's adapting and kind of like he's not just this guy that was gonna sell her away or just like. I feel like he's gonna become like okay, I did care about you, but I'm a survivalist, and I would probably pick me before you, kind of thing.
Yeah, no, I mean he's gonna be the dirtbag if he is more if he tags along more often and he's more recurring in it, which I mean he will be until maybe he dies. But I mean yeah, he's gonna be the total scum dirtbag person. But I think he's gonna be like a Jack Sparrow. You're not really sure what side he's going to be on, and he's going to make his own side, but he could have his shiny redeeming moments.
Yeah.
So I don't hope that.
I don't see that ever happening. I mean, because if you think about it as a story, it's like, what does that serve her character?
Yeah.
How does that serve her character? And it'd just be like a random.
Yeah.
That would totally.
It was just
destroy
totally
it.
Who says it's gotta be random? It could be some epic scene where she finally decides which side she's gonna be on because she has to kill her dad to save Amberly. Or she has to kill her dad to save Will. Not John.
Predictions.
I'm just saying, it doesn't have to be some throwaway scene. It could be some
True,
huge
yeah.
defining character moment where she breaks down after killing her dad or something.
I don't think. I
would just be happy.
I just think if that ever came to like a situation like that, she would come very close to killing him, but she would never actually kill him.
Yeah.
Because
I'd be okay with that too.
And then he'll
That's
die,
right.
and she'll be like,
No.
So, moving on to Shannon. Shannon had made some comments about like some oohs and ahs, I guess, about the CGI and scenery. What was it mainly in these episodes that just stood out to you? Why did you make those comments?
Mainly because last week one of my negatives was the CGI with the druid flying and how it came in so spectacularly to bust. Thank you, the Fury, to bust through the fence and everything the way it did, and I thought it looked so cheesy. So normally when those scenes happen, then the up close is going to be just as bad or worse. And the first scene when it just opens up with the Fury again and they come in with the up close, the snarling shot. I was like, wow, this is actually really done really well this time. And then how Manu Bennett, Allanon comes in. I didn't call him Slade. Deathstroke. Allanon comes in, and that scene was awesome too. How it's like one or two hits, a great slice. And I remember thinking when the druid kicked him as he's dying, I was like, oh, that was awesome. And then I thought, oh, that's going to serve a purpose. And then we see him sliced and has to go and heal on there. So I thought the CGI was much better in the demon sense. The changeling is awesome. The way that they can shift through back and forth and how the mouth isn't there but then opens. I'm really a fan of that.
Mm-hmm. No, I like how the changing looks a lot in this.
I am not a fan, and I can't tell if this is really how it's happening or not, but you're in this gorgeous, gorgeous scenery, and you're trying to utilize it by having scenes out in the woods and out in the open and such, and I understand you're fit for budget, and it's a windy place, and there's water noise and all this stuff, but when you're in the scene where Will and Amberly are talking and he reveals that he's a Shannara, it looks like it's in a studio with just a backdrop of this gorgeous New Zealand set. Like, there's no wind rustling. It looks like a painting.
Green screen.
A green screen.
Yeah, it could have been a last-minute reshoot. Well, you know.
Well, do it right the first time then, or something. Or have a better green screen. At least have a better green screen.
Do your video recordings right the first time. Don't watch our last 3 videos.
Don't do it.
Don't you dare.
But at least have a live green screen picture. Like, don't have just a backdrop. If you're supposed to be outside where there's nature and stuff, it should look at least moving. Like, it looked to me like no grass was moving, no wind, but their hair had wind. I don't know.
You got a giant whirring fan. Just
Yes.
I want that ridiculousness where the water's not waving, but their hair is...
Right? Exactly.
Have you guys seen that GIF from Spider-Man? And it's Kirsten Dunst holding onto the Spider-Man, and it's just a dummy, and he's just not moving at all. And they're flying with, and her hair should be this way, but it's blowing this way perfectly. do that.
Yeah. Well,
But anyways.
Sorry.
But yeah, the CGI, the scenery is getting better. I love all the wide shots that they're utilizing.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoy that. And then just again with scenery, like the Royal Palace or whatever you want to call it, it's still gorgeous. They have some great shots in there. The costumes,
are
great.
Yes.
The guards remind me of Mortal Kombat characters. Cyrex and whatever the yellow one's name is, with their dreads coming out of their metal mask. But
so I think that closes our general ideas that we had. Does anybody have any specific likes or dislikes that they want to announce to our viewers about our views, to give them something to take on whether or not they've watched this or not, whether they should keep watching it?
Oh, okay. So,
okay.
Okay.
Go for it.
So there's two things that are bugging me. Well, I mean, the council scene, I thought that was really stupid. I mean, it's like all your children are dead. You're not gonna have another test for it. I mean,
Another walk through the woods for it.
Stuff's going down.
yeah. I mean, it's just
Stroll
like,
through the woods.
I mean, it's like, why are we even discussing whether or not you should punish her? I mean, she's just a kid, and she's all you got left. So why even?
Well, it was like it
that
didn't even
about?
feel like they really even tried to involve the council.
Yeah.
Like it did feel unnecessary. Like, oh, we have to have the council meeting, but Allanon's gonna come in and be like, "This is stupid.
Just shut you down.
Time out.
You have no option." Like, why?
Allanon comes in and says that, but the one who really sways the council, which I do not understand, is this random elfin half-human kid that nobody knows who he is, but apparently he's a Shannara. They have not proven this at all, just because the druid,
What?
who half of them have never even believed, or and some of them, even though they've seen magic, still don't believe is real, like the stupid son.
The druid spoke.
But the druid
druid
says
spoke.
he's a Shannara. And
Okay.
then everybody
No.
goes,
No.
oh. And then they listen to what he says.
Here's the thing.
It's gravitas.
Command respect. Okay, no. So all of this stuff is happening. These are all their stories, like their fairy tales.
Right.
All of this stuff is now coming true. Why is it so hard to just accept that it's a Shannara? They've heard the stories. The Shannara was the person who saved them. So for the druid who's bringing back all the magic, and now they're seeing all this bad stuff happen.
Right. Why
is it to be like he's the Shannara? He's the last Shannara.
Because I've seen the druid do magic. He's proven to me that his stories are real. This Shannara kid has done nothing.
Who has no idea?
But he
about
hasn't. But what I'm
any of
saying
this.
is that the royal council and all of those at what's it called, Arbitron. Arbalon. All those at Arbalon haven't seen him use the elf stones. They don't even know he has them. So he's just some random kid that they. So the druid has proven to me that he is real. The Shannara kid has not told me.
You've seen him use.
I've seen him. The people that are believing in him have not seen any proof.
Well, then.
And yet they're like, he's right. He has spoken.
We had this discussion earlier, so this is a continuation. But like I said before, Allanon comes in. The king knows him. The king knows him and trusts him, and he says, "This guy is the Shannara." And if the king accepts it, then I mean that should be good enough for the rest of the council. I mean,
It should, but you always have these councils that don't really listen to the king, or always telling the king to do something and you're like, hey, this is a monarchy. That's great. He has a council and everything, but stop acting like you know better than the king.
Like his stupid son, who's probably going to kill him to take over power.
Arian.
Yeah, that guy.
Fitting name. By the way.
Nazi.
Those undertones of against the races.
Yeah.
I have to
Really?
touch.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Do you not think about that?
No, I didn't.
The elves and the humans, and then
Well, I couldn't remember his
magic
name up
and this
until
and
like
that,
a
so
couple
yeah.
hours.
Yeah. Okay. I want to touch really quick. Will Amberly, love triangle. Sorry, I'm jumping back a bit. It drove me nuts when Amberly came out of the tree and looks at Will. We can't have any of your emotions stopping what we're about to do. Like, really? You're gonna just spew that out really quick right there.
And then her lover boy comment at the end.
Yeah.
No emotions,
And
lover
now
boy.
she's all
She's jealous
just
and
super jealous and pissy towards Eritrea because she found out Will and her slept together, and
So who's she really mad about?
so
That shouldn't-
probably herself.
that shouldn't
Yeah,
even
because she
happen.
didn't
But-
get Will or she didn't get
Well, no,
Eritrea.
and I agree. I don't think Will and Eritrea, but I mean, it happened once, okay. And fool me twice.
so
I just aren't that just I don't know. It's irritating. I hate the love triangle, and she's trying to again
who do
be
you
all
want
like.
to be together? Love triangle.
I don't know.
always pick a side.
Allanon and the ant, but they killed her within 2 seconds. I loved her character the minute she's on screen and then
It was
she's
really
just
sad. that
It was
they
very,
tied that.
very
Did
George R. R.
not
Martin
see
of
that
them
coming.
To do that.
yes.
A cool character.
Let's
Oh,
murder her
they're dead.
in the vicious way. And then all she gets is a throwaway line from Amberly. What about my aunt?
She's dead.
That was the worst way to tell someone that their sister's dying.
What was it that he conveniently gets kicked off of the mountain or
Yeah.
kicked over the
Oh,
ledge?
yep.
I love this. Get kicked off the ledge and his lover dies.
So we're running short on time, but thank you everyone for watching our review of episode 3 and 4 of the Shannara Chronicles. Look out for our next review on episode 5 and 6. We'll have it out there as soon as they air, and we watch them and get them out to you. Please like, subscribe, and follow us on all the social media sites. And thank you.
The link's down below.